Sorry.
Mr. Lévesque, you mentioned that Quebec and the rest of Canada are bad partners right now.
Right now, yes.
And no doubt that you are a smart, witty man. And you are taking this opportunity to convince so many people to your separatist movement. And you mentioned that you have 6,000 of them so far.
As regular members in 4 months,
I mean,
yes.
6,000 members cannot just take millions with them and try to establish
That's
a
right.
new constitution.
That's right.
Now, from
That will require votes.
yes, from personal experience, I have been in Quebec City and I have been in Montreal. I have asked policemen, workers and students if they would like to separate from the rest of Canada.
And your
the
Gallup
answer-
poll?
Most of the answers were no, they don't want to separate. Now the issues, as far as I see them, are not strong enough for French Canada to separate from the rest of the country. You do not have basic issues. You do not have, your issues are not convincing enough.
May I just ask you where your accent comes from, just for
My
curiosity's
accent
sake?
comes from Palestine.
Palestine. Right. No, I was just... I was... which is one of the most respectable sovereign states of the recent world.
Remember, Mr. Lévesque, that I mentioned Palestine, not something else.
Oh, so you're the other part. All right. Well,
I thought you were,
let's not go into that.
no, but there is some question about that too. If the French Canadians and the English Canadians cannot get along together, how does the world expect the Arabs and the Jews to live together?
Well, look, that's just why I just told you, let's not go into that, because we're not going to, I think, be, let's take Quebec.
Sure,
We're not going to be the first people who are going to give the rest of the world the great lesson of wisdom, including, if necessary, drowning yourself for harmony's sake, just because you from Palestine, who come here, and quite a few other immigrants come here because they wanted to get away from trouble elsewhere, and they come here and they... No, but in many cases...
I came here for the purpose of education, and
That's
I'm
it.
getting it.
All right.
Right in Ontario.
Are you an immigrant?
Yes, I am.
All right. So if you're an immigrant, like many people among immigrants, you may have this feeling. I've found it very often. That they've come from war-torn, troubled parts of the world. They came here with an idea, in great part based on our own immigration services, that they were coming to a sort of, I nearly said second class, but let's say mini melting pot, more or less comparable to the United States, with no problems of that kind. Now, we were not consulted on the kind of harmony that you'd like to have in Canada. We're there. We also bring problems. Now, to get back to your first part, your Gallup poll in the streets of Montreal, where policemen and other various potential voters told you that they were against what I stand for. Look, the only proof of that pudding will come eventually when we have elections. Can we leave it until then? You have your Gallup poll. We have ours, growingly. I told the audience here that we were a minority. I know we are a minority. But recently, on the CBC, about a couple of months ago, you had a nice little program, maybe some of you have seen it, saying that according to their very galloping Gallup poll, there were about 7% in Quebec, so-called separatists of any hue or form or shape or what have you. Well, I'll tell you one thing. The recent Gallup poll or sondage, those soundings that parties make, since we're a poor organization, we use the other party's results. The National Union, being in power, recently had one of those regular soundings made. And in case you're interested, their own figure, which I don't think would be prone, you know, to give us more than we have, gives the various groups, of which mine is one, a potential 30% of the vote right now. And this is why you won't see an election very soon, probably, in Quebec, because they're trying to figure out where the hell they're going.